Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage. Welcome back to episode 4 of Little Big Workshop, and if you're eagle-eyed you might notice that the factory looks a little bit different. And the reason for that is because I decided this was going to be the last video of this little mini-series just to kind of wrap up my thoughts on this game. But I'm actually playing here my original test game, not the one that I started for the for this little video series, but the game that I started playing before. Because I'm a little bit further along in terms of my progression. I've got an extra little room up here, and this is my metal shop. So we've got the forge up here. We've got a sheet machine that basically takes rolls of sheet metal and cuts them into individual sheets. We've got a metal extruder, and we've got a welding station here, as well as a metal form press. And this has its own specific little loading area where all of the stuff that is going in for metal work is waiting. Slightly better organized storage. So this is our general storage, this is our output storage, second break room, a couple of lathes in here linked to a billboard because these were being used for a particular client job that I failed several times because I was always getting bottlenecked by the turning. And yeah, I've maxed out my relationship with Steve. We're at max level with this guy. Have done some stuff for this guy, and we've just unlocked Bros and Biceps, which is sort of like a mid-tier one. I can't remember if I'd unlocked the mid-tier stuff on my last video, but this stuff is amazingly more complicated. I think I did go and look at like trebuchets and things like that, these little catapults. So it's definitely a more complicated procedure. We're currently making some small shelves and some hats. These are all good ways to just make some extra money. You know, we can go ahead and plan some of these. Looks like everything's already set because we've done them before. Let's go ahead and make some of those. Just try and get some money in. I've actually got over 100,000 in the bank now, which is quite surprising considering at one point, well, more than one point, I was running well within the red and just about managed to recover. So what I'd like to do in this video is buy another plot, extend the factory a little bit more, because there is a challenge from Bros and Biceps, and it's quite a doozy. If we go in here and actually have a look at the plan, this thing is complex, but I'd like to give it a go. But we're going to need some more room. That's the problem. So before we get on to that, we'll probably do some of the other ones, but we will need a little bit more space. Let's go ahead and get a room built. I don't know where exactly we're going to put it, but what we can do now is we can actually buy new plots. So if we click that, you can see that we have the option to buy these extra plots and extend out the factory. Let's go ahead and grab the one over here. It's relatively cheap, and I think that makes a little bit more sense for us anyway. Can we actually get more? No, we still can't get loading bays yet, but we will want to get another building over here. We can get out of the plot view now. So what I will do for my second building, where we want to remodel, and we want the construction tool, I'm going to build this adjoined to the existing building. It's probably going to have a separate door. But putting it here like this means we save a wall, basically. We can't actually get that yet because it doesn't have a door. So let's go ahead and put in a door, and we'll get that ordered. So we'll have a second building built here. I'm surprised you can't put paths or anything in. This would amazingly speed up. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter because they don't have paths. They walk at the same speed and everything. But I think having sort of paths between doors would be quite cool. And this, we've got 5 workmen coming in for this one, so that's awesome. So those small shelves are done. Let's go ahead and deliver those. Not that we're really short of the money at the moment. We have just hit another level, which is fantastic. This gives us some more research points. I did find there's some quite cool stuff you can get here. There's one later on, which is this one, delay transport. Use your underground connections to delay all incoming transports 24 hours. Has a 10-day cooldown, but that's really useful if you're about to fail a challenge. You can just delay the transports for 24 hours. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this one. It's one I've been waiting for. It's basically plastic production, so I could take one of my staff here and actually make someone a plastic specialist, because we don't have one at the moment. I can't hire any more staff. I'm currently at 10 out of 10 employees, which is the max until we take this option here, which we'll probably do next time we level up. But my staff aren't exactly struggling too much right now. Let's go ahead and look at our market and look at our challenges. So we've got this thing here. This is the portable fireplace, and this is the one that this is the challenge that I've had before that I was struggling to do, because I was getting bottlenecked here by the turning of the legs, because obviously there's quite a few of them. You've got 13 units and there's 4 legs for each of them, so it takes quite some time. And that involves cutting sheet metal, forming the sheet metal, it uses the forge, there's a lot of stuff going on there. We will execute that to get that done. We'll make that our top priority and we'll speed things up a little bit. Still working on the hats here when we're not working on chairs. If we're working on chairs, then the sewing station is used for putting the chair seats together. But if we're not working on chairs, then I just use it to produce hats, because they make relatively good money. So there'll still be a couple of shelves getting finished up here, but then we should start work on these portable fireplaces. We're already 4% of the way through, so that's not too bad. Don't have to worry too much about money at this stage. I did have to put a few extra things in my break rooms because I was really running into problems with my staff essentially starting to drop. Now, one thing that I haven't shown in the previous videos, and I hope that we get the opportunity to here, is you do get these little events that happen around the factory. It's a little bit like if you've ever played Theme Hospital or 2 Point Hospital, when you have to like click on the little monobrows and stuff like that. But it's basically where you have to interact with something on the map, and there are these various different challenges that you get, and if you complete them, you get some extra money. They're really, really random. I seem to recall seeing 5 different ones. There's one where you get rats, and you have to put down this little cannon and fire at the rats to get rid of them. There's one where you basically get mold, and you have to put this little device in each room to get rid of the mold. There's one where some of your staff are essentially working as spies and you have to watch for suspicious behavior and identify them. And there's one where some of your staff get these weird brain slugs and you have to look and try and work out who has the brain slugs and select them. And there was one where you have these little gnomes tunneling up, and you have to put this machine down that basically stuns them all and then click on them. Really weird, random stuff. But when you complete them, it gives you a little bit of extra cash. So normally it seems to pop up when you are like going bankrupt, but I'm just wondering if I've seen any of them since then. I'm not sure if I have. Let's have a look here. What does this guy want us to do? Oh, we've got a new one for us. Now, this is an urgent contract. Now, the question is, before we do anything, let's have a look and create a plan, because this looks a lot more complicated here. This is a Parasol grill. I'd be tempted not to actually take that right now, simply because we are working on the portable fireplaces and the hats. Now, the hats are using the sewing station, and we're going to need the sewing station for that urgent contract, because I've just seen that we do. Nemesis agent, here we go. We've actually got one. There's something fishy going on in your factory. We may have one or several spies in our workforce. Track and catch them before they can start any trouble. They can be quite hard to spot. You have to look for people sort of sniggering and snooping around. Now, they will be disguised as your normal staff. And the more staff you've got, the harder. Now, here's one here. Look, she's taking photos. So we click this button, it pauses it, and we click on her. Now, as long as you get it right, it's fine. If you get it wrong, they get upset, and it basically makes them more fatigued. So they'll skulk off and have to recover a little bit. Not always easy to spot who it is, especially when some of your staff are not busy and they're just kind of wandering around. This guy's sort of, I don't know what he's doing, because this room is empty. Yeah, he's snooping around. He's one of them, so that's our second one. And there will be one more somewhere that I haven't found yet. Obviously, you can't really do this on fast forward. It makes it a little bit too difficult. Is it this guy? Or girl? Not too sure. I think it's a girl. It's got a ponytail. Yep, you're messing around there. So that's the other one. So there we go. And we got 6,000 gold for that. So you just get these random things pop up from time to time. I don't know why. I'm about to get an achievement because I believe there is one for having a factory for 98 days. Let's go and deliver the hats. Now, I'm not going to start another order of hats because I want to keep this free for the urgent job. But we will try and get the portable fireplaces done first. So let's load up with the hats. Again, I think the portable fireplaces is struggling because of the lathes. Are we actually doing this on linked workstations? Are we linked to both workstations? We are. So both of these should have... See, we haven't. They're all being done in one. So what we want to do here is move this to the billboard. I must have done this before I'd set up the... I must have set up that plan before I set up the second lathe. So these should now be split between both of the lathes. That should speed things up. Yeah, we're working both lathes now. So hopefully we'll have enough time to do that. Now the problem is when you've got more staff, you're paying them more, so your overheads are higher. So having staff standing around doing nothing is not very cost effective. Ideally, you want to have multiple different projects on the go all at the same time. So there's two things that I kind of want to do in this video. I want to try and do that new urgent order that we've just been given, if possible. And then I want to try and do the one for bros and biceps. But that is definitely going to require getting some additional stuff. So we're into day 99. We've still got 1.5 days left to do those portable fireplaces, and we're about halfway through them. Definitely need to keep our eye on our machinery. Nothing looks like it's about to explode right now. Looks like those portable fireplaces will be done relatively quickly, so I'm not overly concerned about them. I think, in fact, the only thing that they're waiting on is the legs and the assembly. I think all of the other stuff is done because we're now starting to work on shelves. So as there's only one remaining, let's go back into planning mode for this thing here. And we've got quite a lot of stuff to do. So we need to... Basically, most of this stuff, the Parasol stuff is all set. There aren't really any additional ways to get this done. So the Parasol is done. And then we've basically got these things that we're already doing, right? This is basically what we're already making. So we are forging the handles. We are metal pressing the bucket bits, and we are turning the legs. So we need to select what materials we want to use here. We can probably use some better metal and then some cheaper wood. And let's just go and get all these things set up. Yeah, because we've decided to use some cheaper stuff here, it does... Alright, let's do that. So that's the Parasol. That should all be sorted now. It doesn't matter what colour the Parasol is. We can pick whatever colour we like. So that looks like everything's set up. So, and these are components that just come in. So we've got wood chopping and wood chopping, basically straight cutting. So you go on to that. We have 2 lots of turning. If anything slows us down, it's going to be this. But we'll put you onto the billboard. Metal cutting is going to be there. Metal stamp pressing is going to be there. Sewing station is down here because we're not making hats anymore. That's going to be forged, so that happens over there. And then we've basically got assembly, 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 and that all happens on the assembly billboard. Got 3 assembly stations, and that's done. We've only got to do 4 of them. So we'll go ahead and hit execute. We will make sure that goes right to the top because we only have 1 day to do it. Now you can put things on overdrive to really speed them up. In fact, let me just put this at the top because we do want that to finish first. I think it is just about finished because there's only 1 more to assemble. So we'll let them finish assembling that. We should get them done because there's only 4 to do. And the thing that's going to take the time is the turning of the legs. There's an extra bit of turning because we've got to turn the Parasol stands as well. But that should all happen hopefully relatively quickly. Do we have jobs assigned on both of these lathes? Hopefully we do. Yeah, that's fine. So this is the last one of these being done. And then, right, actually, that's already done. So now we are just working on those parasols, on those parasol grills. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Some extra stuff popped up here in the market. Oh, there's a lot of challenges now. But we could do some of this this furniture. I say I would like to try and do the more difficult one. I think we will. I think we'll try that one. So he's happy with that. I mean, we're maximum relationship with that guy anyway. Let's go ahead and see if we can manage to do the parasol grill all in a single day. And 50% of the way through with 12 hours left. I mean, that's a good sign. It's just those final bits of assembly. Hopefully it won't take too long. Not too sure what it is that they're waiting on. Maybe it's the parasols. We haven't even completed a single one yet, and there's only 5 hours left to go. Only 4 hours left to go. So this is looking pretty bad. 2 hours left to go. So parasol has been assembled. Right, we've managed one. So that was pretty bad. We only managed to get one done. So, you know, four in a day sounds easy, but we didn't quite get there. We've got them waiting to be put together. I don't think we're going to quite manage it. Yeah, we only got one. Only got 25% of the order done. And the market's empty, which means we can't even just sell them. We'll finish building them. There might be a reason for it, so we'll go ahead and let that finish. But then we'll try and move on to the medium one, because that will be a little bit more difficult. We'll probably have to buy some additional equipment. So let's go ahead and have a look at that. We want to go into this one. This is a standard bicycle. Now this is medium difficulty. There's quite a lot of stuff going on here. So we've got some plastic injection molding. Well, that's easy enough. We've got some metal forging. Again, that one is easy enough. And then what have we got over here? We have making the seats. Looks like strength and style is important, so we want to go for this one. This is going to require sewing, so goes onto the sewing station. These are the handlebars. Again, strength is quite important, so we probably want... Now, this one's welding. Let's go for that one. So this is going to need to use the welding station. This is going to need to be... Oh, we don't even have a workstation for this. This is metal being bent. Okay. This can be either forged or injection or extruded. Let's use the extruder because we're not using that for anything else. So it speeds things up if we can have multiple different machines doing it all. We can forge these metal rods. In the mold, so you're going to get forged. We do need to buy this bit of machinery here, so let's actually get the machine to do it. This is a metal bender, and we could put it in this room, but let's go ahead and have it over here. So that already puts -24 on the mood for that room, but we've got the metal bender, so let's go and put that in. And then we want this part. Again, our strength, everything is well over the top, I think. It looks like things actually too strong. Let's go ahead and do this one. Wow, this is a lot of stuff to do here. So, again, forging. This is going to be... Again, it's all forging. Let's go for that one. We might struggle here. We might need another forge. And then we have this part here, which requires a foam injection machine. So something, again, completely different. I haven't used one of these before. So we've got our foam injection machine there. And then we've got this thing. Choose how to create this in your production line. So we can do it via welding, or we can make it via plastic. Let's just go and do the injection molding route for that one. Oh, this one's going to be tricky. If we pull this off, I will be amazed. And then again, we've got more stuff that we need to do here. We could probably weld this one as well. So this probably needs multiple welding stations. And then we've got these bits which need to be injection extruded. So now we've just got to pick materials. And hopefully we can probably do it on the cheap. That's fine. It doesn't really matter. Oh, yeah. And then we've got assembly. So assembly there, there, and there. You're all going to get queued up on the billboard. And that is it. We need to do 7 of these. So let's go ahead and hit execute. That's a lot of stuff that's just suddenly got queued up right there. And of course this needs to go to the top of the queue. We do have 5 days to make 7. Seems like that should be easy, right? But we will see. So yeah, the only option we have to do these things is to scrap them. So let's just go ahead and scrap them. Sometimes you will get challenges, and if you don't get them completed in time and you have any surplus, you still can sell them off for some reason. Let's go ahead and do what I did before, which was to make a delivery zone in this room. We'll do that. And we will specifically make this a workstation input zone. And we will link it to these 2 workstations here. We don't need shelves in here. It's not too bad. What I will do is go ahead and get some decorations. Things like water coolers. And even like these flower beds. They make a huge difference to the mood of a room. So they're well worth having. So okay, let's go ahead and speed things up and see how we do making these bicycles. There's a lot of different components to make, and the issue is you will find that you bottleneck quite a bit. So what I should have done potentially is got multiple different forges so that we could, because we are forging quite a few different bits and we've only got one forge to do it in. So that might slow us down considerably. And this is always what it's about. It's always about trying to find the bottleneck. But look at here on the shelves here. We've already got wheels done. We've already got seats done. We've already got baskets done. There's a lot of stuff going on all at the same time. This is about to blow up, so that needs fixing. I'm not too sure. The sewing station can blow up. I don't know how. I don't know how a sewing station blows up. But the sewing station can blow up. So we are 40% of the way through total production right now. The foam injection's doing the tyres for the bike with the looks of things. There's a lot of stuff going on here with the metal working. So we're busy forging. There's a little bit of assembly going on. I guess that's on individual parts. It looks like they're actually putting tyres onto wheels. That's fine. Well, there's 7 bicycles, so there's only 14 wheels to do. I'm still seeing a few wheels here that don't have the tyres on. So with 3 days and 12 hours left, we're nearly 60% of the way through. We might actually pull this one off. So we're going to be forging some more stuff. Lots of these like rods and things going on. So everything's going good. Sewing station's not looking in great condition, but I think we've done most of the sewing now. But as we've got staff standing around doing nothing, we've already got, look at these, we've got bike frames already. So we are getting there. Just going to slow down a little bit because my factory is actually called Test Factory. That's how you can see this was like the first game I ever played. It's just called Test Factory. On the market we have nothing specifically interesting going on there. Okay, that's fine. Let's speed it back up again. Obviously, we're losing a little bit of money each hour because we're not actually delivering on anything right now. Now we're welding the handlebars together. Sometimes you really have to be selective about the processes. The different processes that you use. You have to carefully consider which ones you're going to use sometimes because you want to avoid a bottleneck. Sometimes it's better to go for a slightly more expensive process because it can just be done more quickly. We've got 3 bikes finished at this point. With 2 days and 12 hours remaining. 4 bikes completed. We might actually pull this off. We're just waiting on some final components. There's 6 and 7. And now it's complaining because we don't have enough storage space left to put them because of these shelves. We can fix that temporarily by assigning a output zone somewhere. So let's just go and do that. And this can be an output zone. So now the warning's gone away. So as soon as the bikes are done, because we should just be working on the last one now. Yep, it's getting assembled. We're actually working on shelves again. Yeah, and the bike's finished. Excellent. I am pleased with that. That was my first ever medium difficulty project. And it was completed. See how much money we get for it. Let's pick those up. We can get rid of this zone now. We don't need it anymore. The shelves do take up quite a lot of space when you're making bigger stuff. 9,000. There we go. Get pumped. We got an achievement for that one. Not too sure whether the game capture will pick up that achievement there, but I did get an achievement. So that's one of the medium. Got some experience. That's one of the medium projects, and there are difficult ones as well that I don't. The advanced ones that I don't have unlocked. I'm not even sure that I want to look at those. I think they're going to be very, very scary. We could still have a go at doing this one. This one again looks like it's a sort of a medium one. Again, you look at bits like this; they're quite complex. Although that looks like it's all just mostly assembled. Oh yeah, there you go. You click on it and it expands, and then all of a sudden there's a million different things to do. So that could be glued. And this bit could be wood turned or metal turned. Let's go for metal turned on that one. Oh, it's extruded. So, you know, we've got that's going to be forged. That is going to be foam injected. We'll actually leave the others for now. It's best to line all of these up first. So this is going to be, we can make that out of plastic, and then that can be done on wood. That can be metal stamped. Probably use most of the default materials. Looks like some of these are going to have to be a little bit more expensive. If we do that one, do we get away with the cheaper wood? No. If we use the more expensive metal. No, I really don't want to have to use that expensive wood. If I can help it. Using this stuff. No, it doesn't look like there's a way around it without using the more expensive wood there. So that's all the processes basically done. So anything that is straight wood cutting, looks like there's only the 2. So you go over onto that. We've got straight cutting. We've got sheet metal cutting, which is there. Oh, and this one. I missed that one. We have got... Did I not link that up? There we go. We've got gluing. There's only one lot of gluing to be done. Well, we've got 2 glue stations and a billboard attached. We've got 1 lot of metal extrusion, which goes over there. We've got 1 lot of plastic molding or plastic injection, which goes there. And then we've got stamping metal ×2 onto the stamp. And then we've got this one, which we do have a CNC machine for. And then it's basically just the assembly parts. So there's the assembly. And again, we throw you onto the billboard there. And we can go ahead and execute that. What's this thing called again? It's a milling machine. There we go. Let's go ahead and put that to the top of the queue. So this one gives us 9 days and 5 hours. That's actually quite generous. I'm going to go and just speed this right up. because it's probably going to take quite some time to make all of these parts. A lot of different processes happening at once. And sometimes you can look at your machines and go, well, okay, there's not much going on. Let's start fixing the... oh, what have we got here? Oh. The trucker got stressed and started chucking everything into the loading bay. That's a little bit weird. Maybe he ran out of space. There's a lot of materials just come in for that, but that's fine. But yeah, it's always worth keeping your eye on workstations, and whenever they're not being totally busy, just repair them one at a time. Try and keep everything in as good a condition as possible. I think we've got plenty of time to do this. And a lot of the time, it's better just to interrupt production and fix something than to wait for it to explode, because if you wait for it to explode, it takes longer to fix, so that really slows things down. So definitely keep on top of maintenance, and also they have reduced efficiency when they're damaged, so keeping everything at max efficiency will speed up how the actual production. So try and keep everything as fully repaired as possible, and we'll fix that as well. So we're 40% of the way through the total production, and we still have almost 8 full days left. So I think that's pretty good. Most of the metal stamping is now done. As well, most of the sheet metal cutting is now done. Our shelves are already piling up here. What we could go ahead and do is actually sell some of these shelves, because the value of them is dropping. So we'll get them out of the way. It'll be some extra income and free up some shelf space. There we go. All of the sheet metal cutting is now done. But we are still doing some stamping. So we don't have a complete barbecue yet. Let's go ahead and fix that and that. But there's definitely some assembly going on. Okay, cool. This might be another one that we pull off, actually. Have we just gone up another rank? We are now... We were 5th before. Have I dropped? 16th. That's weird. I was 5th earlier. 61% now. So once I finish this one, I'll wrap this video up and the series. So you know, I didn't really want to do a full let's play of this because I definitely appreciate that it is one of those games that is far more fun and addictive to play than it is to actually watch. But I think it's such a great little game. If you're into this sort of thing, I appreciate it. It's very niche, you know. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But if you like this sort of game, I've been having great fun with this. It's really enjoyable, and a lot of the time I find it really zen because you do your setup and then you kind of just hit go and you can just sort of sit and watch it, or you can micromanage if you want to. And I like the art style. I like the theme. The sound effects are cute. The music's okay. You know, it's just a nice little game. It's a bit of a gem. I'm quite glad that I stumbled across it. I think there are a few things that could do with the tweak here and there, but you know, overall, I think it's worth picking up. So we're up to about 80% now. We still haven't actually finished one of these things yet. This guy has... Oh, he's got another important thing for me. Well, I'm not going to go ahead and do that because obviously I need to get this done. And I don't want to drag the video out any longer, but I do want to see if we can pull this challenge off. We've got most of the bits done now. So, you know, we're pretty much just waiting on final assembly. That's going to be the testing point here. We're starting to put the bases together for these things. So once the bases are... How many do we have to make? 15. That's considerable. So our... looks like it's literally just assembly now. The top parts are done. We're assembling the bottom parts and then we'll put them together. Yep, we've got the first one finished. So... Oh, we've got to put the handles onto them. Yep, so that's what you need. You need the handle, you need the wheelbase, and you need the actual the top part as well. Definitely get in there. Going to have plenty of time left on this one, I think. So you also have to consider how much profit you're going to make from each thing that you do, because using those different processes uses different materials. And obviously you have to meet the targets for strength and style and comfort and things like that. So sometimes you have to use a different process or a different material to hit one of those targets. But then you have the added problem of that can drive prices up somewhere else. Here's the RATS one that I was talking about. So what you need to do is you go and put this cannon in. The problem with these little events is that you often have to place something down, and you might not always have a space to put something down because it'll be obstructed, which can sometimes mean you have to pick stuff up and move it around. It's a real pain. So now I've got the cannon. What I'm supposed to do here is basically fire at the rats. Now I'll be able to hit some of them. They will sort of path around. Some of them will kind of run backwards and forwards over the same spots. They do sometimes stop and stand still for... There is a limited range on this, by the way. I can't just like click and hit absolutely everywhere with it. And of course, the bigger your factory gets, the more difficult this becomes. But there we go. And that was another 6,000 gold. Or 6,000 coins or dollars or whatever. But we're by no means anywhere near bankruptcy. So you've seen a couple of the events now. So 12 of those barbecues are done, and this guy comes to pick the rat cannon up and take it away. There's 13 done, and the 14th one is just being done now, and yep, there's the 15th one, and that's it. That is now, the shelves are done as well, so we can deliver the shelves, and we can go ahead and deliver those. Any spare parts get scrapped. So, not making money at the moment because I'm not working on anything. To be fair, I was making... Yeah, that was pretty decent, actually. 20,000. I was making more money when I was just working on random stuff for the market. Because you look at things like this and you can see, oh, wow, the cost... You know, the price of these is going up, as is the demand. So, we go ahead and hit plan. It's already planned out because I've made some before. And just go and queue 30 up. And they're quite simple because it's basically all woodworking, which means my metalworking stations are free. I could then go in and look at the hats. Not this one, the value's plummeting and so is the demand. If you look at this one, the price is dropping a little bit, but there's good demand there. So we could go into this and maybe not 30, but maybe 20. Go ahead and make 20 of those. That keeps the sewing station busy. And then we could go in and have a look at the... Well, someone's manipulating these rubber ducks for the price to drop. You can see we've got these sandbox kits. The demand is dropping, but the price is going to go up. This one, these toy food, the price is going to skyrocket and demand is going to go back up. So we go ahead and plan this. And basically it's quite straightforward. If we can do it a little bit more cheaply, we will, but it doesn't look like we can. So we basically go ahead and inject all of that stuff, and we go and paint all of that stuff. So that's got the paint station and the injection molding done. So, and execute. So there you go. We've now got 3 different projects on the go. And they're all kind of using different bits of the factory. We've got something using the painting and the injection molding. We've got something else using the woodworking. We've got something else using the sewing. And if I wanted to sort of stop and think about it, I could probably find something in here that was mostly just metal. And have the metal working section of the factory up and running as well. And that's a good way to be able to produce multiple things at the same time. It might be worthwhile building a building with more storage space, because sometimes you'll finish building something and you'll realise that the value of it is going up. So if that's the case and you can afford to, it's better to just hang on to the stock until the price rises and then sell it. Obviously, if the price is starting to drop, you want to start selling it off in batches. Don't wait until the production is finished. Just start selling off what you've got. But yeah, we've gone, like, we're in the 40-minute mark on this video now. If you have been watching this series and you've got through all 4 of these videos, then thank you very much. But yeah, do go and check it out. A Little Big Workshop on Steam, probably other places as well, but Steam is where I've got it. It's the only place I've seen it. It is a lot of fun. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video, and until then, goodbye for now.